Good afternoon and welcome to the second part of the class for Java. My name is Dennis Gishangi, the Director Development in DC Solutions Limited. For the people who may have missed, today we are having a practical hands-on class. For the practical hands-on class, there's some prerequisites we needed you to start with. So we put a document and a video online so that you have the development environment that you have. So I think we start with quoting Milo Angelou's book. She says, "A bird does not sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a song." And coding is like a bird singing, so you just start to code. So today we are doing practical coding. For that, you needed to have installed Java on your machine. We've given the link so that you're able to go to Oracle site, download Java, and also go to Apache site to download NetBeans. Once you install, so our class will start from an assumed perspective that you have NetBeans running. So I'll close the other things we were doing so that we start. Now, once you have NetBeans, once you do once you have NetBeans running, I'm giving you a second to so we start our first project. So the easiest way to start development is to have what you call an ID. An ID is an integrated development environment, and then we'll do visual things, because one of the things I noticed with the number of people I have trained, the biggest hindrance is a mindset that coding is hard. So I want to show you from the very easy things, which is to drag around objects. So you'd start by creating a new project. So I will create a new application. The first, you find categories, so you can create the project with either Ant, or you create the project with Marvin. I will use Marvin to start the project, so I'd click, that's a first option, Java with Marvin, then Java application. I'll do next. So at the top it creates for me, I'll create Marvin project 1. I'll use the default settings. I will not change anything, including my company. I'll just leave it the same way. Then I finish. So once I do that, I have an empty project. It will take a second. So the new project is already started. So once the new project is started, the next thing we want to do is to create a new file. So you'd go to new file, and then what I want to do is from the Java at the top, I want to create what I'd call a Swing UI form. So I'd click on Swing UI form, and then I'd click on Java, the JFrame form. So it will create for me the project name there. Then I finish. So it's loaded on my desktop, an empty frame. I can click and maybe resize it, just make it slightly bigger so that I can put objects. And at this point, I can show you how to run. So far I've created the project and added one new file, which would be like a form. At the top, you'll see a run button, which is green. If you click that green button, it will try and see how to execute the application. And it's picked a different application. I have to get this project. So it will tell me I created it, just create it again. So it will ask me, I need to select the main class that will be running for this project. So I can say remember permanently, then I put the JFrame, then I can select the class. And then this will compile and then run the given class. So the reason we use Maven is to be able to keep the dependency libraries that are required. So most of the time when you compile with Maven, you'll see at the bottom there is a bit of activity on downloading some plugins the first time you run. But after it executes the first time, those will be fewer to do. So on the IDE, on the left side, you have your list of projects. You can view them in project mode or file mode. In the middle area is where you'll be doing the coding. On the left side, you have the panel. This is very familiar to many people learn Visual Basics or something called MS Access. The IDE environment is fairly similar. So here, if you look here, we have it. This is your first application. So you have you've made your first Java application. I will close that, then we will put in a label. So we need to get when you click on design mode, you can be able to get the components from the palette. So if you click on this side, you have the palette. So the palette has different things that you can drag and drop. So the first one I'll do is I'll drag and drop a label at the top, and then on the frame itself, when you click, it has, so like I can change the title. We can call it Java class Java introduction, lesson 002, and then on the label you can just change the text here. See there it's written label 1, you just write welcome to the world. On this class we want to make personal wallet manager. So once I write that, you have there, you can change other things like you can change the font size. On the left, side, and you can play around with more things. I can make the font size bigger. And then again I'm able to run that. Once I click the run, it will bring the pop-up with so you can see we've written the title at the top, Java Introduction Lesson 002. Welcome to the Personal Wallet Manager. Now we want to put a few things on the pane. So what you'd want to do is, you want to put a label. Like now I'd want, I can just drag and drop. We'll have the labels to we are looking at writing the item name, because we want to say what are you spending. So you'd have an item name, the quantity and the price. So I quickly drag and drop 3 I drag a bit more labels. I try and arrange them. So the first label will be item name. The second one will be the second one, I'm just changing the text at the top. The second one will be quantity. And the last one will be, I can expand them. And the last one will be price. And then what we'd want to do is we want to clear the text on these ones so that they are empty. just click on them. Then on the left side you see where it's written text, then you just remove. For the display of the computation, we want to put in the easiest component to show you, because we'll show you, will be a text area. A text area will give the details in a narrative form, and then we'll put in a button. So the button is what we want to get the inputs from. So we put a button here, and we can write the button name at the text. We can say compute. Again, I want to run this, then show you how it looks. If you look at that, then you'll be able to see. So what we want to arrive at, the logic is to be able to write, for example, if we do item name sugar, let's say quantity 3, the price maybe 120. We want, once we click compute, we want this to compute here, and then we can have an extra field here to give the running total. So the first thing we want to do is do the item and the computation and put it at the text at the bottom. That's the next thing we want to do. So far all I have done is do some clicking here and dragging the objects. Now I want to show you how to add some code to what we are doing. So to add the code, once I click on the compute button, if I right click, I'll go to events, action, then you see action performed. Immediately I do that, then it'll write the code here, and then it'll also open for me the code window, so I can switch between the design and the code. So I'm able to see the two interactively. So I'm now on the code. So on the code, I'll see here it's written J button 1 action performed. Now, because we just you want to just write some code to see how it functions, I can show you by writing a very simple line. The text we want to display, if you scroll at the bottom, you'll find it's defined here as text area 1, JText area 1. So we'll pick that, and you can be able to do, once you write the name of the object, if you click, you'll be able to see that you can so if I say append, you will get a list of commands. So I can even call it test 1. So this is how easy. So the action we want to see is that when with the code we've put, when we run this, when we click the button, it should append at the bottom. When you are learning how to code, you need to keep clicking the run button so that you are able to, so like this, it's able to just append, so you are able to understand that action. Now we want to read the item name, the quantity, and the price. So we want to read that in one string. So from last time I said everything is contained within the braces. So within this brace, we get string. We define string item name. I will not explain too much of the code at this point. I think those will be for subsequent classes. what we just needed to show you is how to do. So you do like to be able to get the text in the text box. So the name of the text box is JText field 1. You'd say get text, then do string quantity is equals to then I will read the price. So once you read the three values, they are all in string. We need to get one to concatenate this into one string that can be displayed. So I can call it item line. So on the item line, I want to write the item name plus, you add the string, so I can add maybe a colon plus quantity. Not computing anything, we are just doing for display plus price. I'll add an interesting string to be able to make whatever we are adding be a new line. So would add a \n, that would mean new line. So when we now append the text here, I'm running the code so that we are able to see the results. So now if I write the item name sugar 120, if I do compute, I'll have the sugar 120. So the next thing we want to do is to convert these into computable numbers. We'll assume the quantity and price are integers, numerals. So to do that, you do integer. You can say, I can just give it a name like qty is equals to new integer. To do the new integer will be the easiest way to convert a string into an integer. And then so the total would be equals to, you can call it line, total would be equals to quantity multiplied by price. In the blog that will write we'll try and define these a bit better. And then when you start to code, don't be afraid of errors. Errors are part of learning how to code. Like now, I have an error, so mostly it will define what that error is. So I've called this, I've done a spelling issue, so I'm able to fix it. So I'm able to do sugar. It's a 120. So when I compute, it will give me the 240. So if this was our wallet coffee, but I'm told because we are doing Java, you'd call it Java 430 compute. So I can easily then write a small calculator, so I'm able to put in my figures. I want to just add one more item at the bottom for the running total. Again, we'll go to design. To make it easier, I want to put the total at the bottom. To put the total, because it's a field which doesn't need to be read, I'll use a label. So the label name will be total. And then I'll have the other, remember the palette on the left. Then I'll have the label here to be able to put in the value. So the label is label 6. When you click now on the source, the first thing I'll do is want to keep in a variable, a global variable for the class. I'd like to put it here at the top. So I'd have in I can initiate it as 0. So when I do the total, when I do this, my line total, I will say total, I'll add to that total the line total, and then at the bottom here I will, after appending this, I will say I'll pick in the label and set the text of the label total. Then I do after the class we will do a blog. The blog session would explain what we've done. And the good thing of using the ID to start with is when you click, it gives you suggestions on code you can use. So I can again do sugar, I can do 3, I can do 140, compute, then I'll do milk 450, compute Java 1.502 compute. So we have our first program which you're able to put in the items, and the total is at the bottom. So for the first introductory class, that's all we needed to be able to cover. We'll be doing blog posts. So if you follow our videos, we'll be doing blog posts after the class that will be able to further explain how you can do that, and so that the material is available for the other people joining us on the class. And to close, the joke of the day, they said, if you're coding in Java and drinking Java like this, and your wife says, finish doing Java and drinking Java so that we have the talk. This is how you drink the Java. And you code very, very slowly. So we'll send you the blog posts, and hope to see you next week as we continue the lessons. We will update more material on, as we continue on the classes. Thank you very much.